Assalamu alaikum friends. I hope you all are well and enjoying learning with language and linguistics. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about speech acts. Speech acts are important concept in pragmatics. So let's move to our first slide. Before talking about speech act, let's talk about speech act theory so you can understand the background. Speech act theory is a subfield of pragmatics and it studies how words are used not only to present information but also to carry out actions. So language is not only used for expressing or for conveying information but also as a tool for actions according to speech act theory. Oxford philosopher J.L. Austin introduced speech act theory in his work How to Do Things with Words and further developed by American philosopher J.R. Searle. Sentence and utterance are two important concepts to understand speech acts. So, we are going to highlight these two important concepts before talking about speech acts. Sentence is a structured strings of words that is accurate, grammatical, and carrying a certain meaning. In contrast, utterance is a sentence that is said, written, or signed in a particular context by someone with particular intention by means of which the utterance intends to create an effect on the addressee. So, sentence is just strings of words, those are interconnected and grammatically correct. In contrast, utterance is a sentence that has context, intention, and effects. These three ingredients make the utterance. In contrast, sentence doesn't have these three components. So let's talk about speech acts. Speech acts are the actions that are carried out through language, and a significant portion of reports in newspaper are called speech acts rather than physical acts. Speaker performs speech acts for making an utterance, or you can say speaking a language means performing a speech acts such as making statements, giving commands, asking question, and making promise according to J. Searle. The acts speakers perform when they make an utterance are also called speech acts. In simple words, action performed via using language is called speech acts. Event and speech events. Event is a physical occurrence, something that happens, for example, death, marriage, examples of events. But using language to talk about death and marriage is called speech event. Speech event is an activity in which participants interact via language. Or speaking about activities directly governed by rules and norms is termed as speech event. For example, stories, conversation, lectures, and formal introduction are the examples of speech events according to Delheims. Types of speech acts are representative, commissive, directives, declarations, expressive, and verdictives. First one is representatives that represent a situation or circumstances like assertion, statements, claims, hypothesis, description, and suggestions. It can be generally characterized as true or false. Second one is commissive, through which speaker commit to do something or course of action, for example, promise, pledges, threats. Third one is directives. They are intended to get the addressee to carry out an action, for example, command, request, invitation, challenge. Next one is declaration. Give name to the state of affairs like blessing, hiring, firing, arrest, and marrying. Second last is expressive, that indicates the speaker's psychological state or attitude like greetings, apologies, and last one is verdictives, that makes assessment or judgment, ranking such as calling a baseball player out, combine the characteristics of declaration and representatives. This one is the most important part of this lecture, that is 3 acts according to speech act theory. Each utterance consists of 3 related acts according to speech acts theory. If you can recall the definition of utterance, you can easily understand that utterance is a complete sentence with context, intention, and effects on speakers. So, according to this theory, utterance has 3 important works to do. First one is locutionary act, second is illocutionary act, and last one is perlocutionary act. Locutionary act is itself utterance or producing meaningful utterance, or you can say content of the utterance itself is locution. Simple words, linguistic expression is locution. Second one is illocutionary act. Sometimes illocutionary acts are called speech acts according to some linguists. Illocutionary act are the intention of the speaker for making any utterance, or you can say producing well-formed utterance with some kind of function in mind at the part of the speaker is called illocutionary act, or you can say speaker's intended meaning or communicative force. Last one is perlocutionary act. Effects of utterance or outcome of the utterance is called perlocutionary act. These utterances are created with function and intention to have an effect on speaker, no, on listener. Because speaker's intention is in illocutionary act and perlocutionary act is the effect on the listener after listening the speaker. Let's try to understand these 3 concepts, locutionary, illocutionary, and perlocutionary act through this example. For example, weather is cold outside is simple locution or statement, or you can say an utterance. But when you say this to your roommate and door of the room is open, it means you are requesting in an indirect way to shut the door because of the coldness. This is some kind of request that is made indirectly to the listener to shut the door in order to avoid the coldness of the weather. So it is called illocutionary act or force by the speaker's intention, and the speaker intention is to shut the door. However, when the listener shut the door after hearing such statement or utterance, he is performing perlocutionary act because he simply shuts the door under the effect of location or utterance. So location or locutionary act is simple linguistic expression or utterance. Illocutionary act is the speaker intention or intended meaning, and perlocutionary act are the effects of utterance on listener. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe Language and Linguistics. Please visit this link to get complete transcript of this lecture, and you can also find few MCQ style question in order to know how much you understand the lecture or to assess your understanding.